All right, ladies and gentlemen, beginning of this unit, we are looking at geometry. The unit is called A New Look at Boxing. So we're going to be looking at area, total surface area, area required to cover something such as a box. So we're going to start with the basics today. And we're looking at finding area of two-dimensional polygons. So first we need to review formulas. Rectangle. How do you find the area of a rectangle?
Length times width.
Length times width. You could also say what? How about base times height?
No, it's still the base.
It's still a base and it still has a height, right? So for a triangle, what formula do we use? Divided by 2, or you can write it as 1/2 times the base times the height. These are the same formula. Some people like to multiply these two and then divide them. Some people just like to multiply by 1/2. Trapezoid has how many sides?
4.
4. What's unique about a trapezoid?
It's different.
How?
That's a good one, Nolan.
What's that? I heard it's what? It is not a parallelogram. What's different about some of the sides?
Slanted. Not all the same length.
It could be slanted, right? The top and the bottom might be different lengths. There's different trapezoids that you'll see. So for the trapezoid, anybody remember the formula? Base 1.
Base 1.
What else? That's not helping? Plus base 2 times the height divided by 2?
You've never seen that before.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet you have.
Yeah.
Or 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times the height.
Wait, is that an H on the end of
Yes,
the
it is an H. Sorry.
Alright.
Now, when you're doing order of operations and trying to find the area of a trapezoid, what do you need to do first? For a trapezoid, the parentheses. You need to add together what's in the parentheses. All right, example 1. What shape do we have?
Triangle.
Triangle. And the formula for a triangle is?
Base times height divided by 2.
Okay. What is the base on my triangle?
4.
4. What is my height?
11. No. 10.
This is the height, also called the altitude. The 11 measures the length of this side. So your height is 10, divide that by 2. 4 times 10 gives us 40 divided by 2 gives us, my units are
Meters.
meters
Square.
squared. Very nice. Example 2 is a trapezoid. And the formula for the trapezoid: 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Thank you. Let me give you another. Bless you. All right. 1/2 times. What length is my base 1?
8.
Does it matter if it's 8 or 3?
No.
It does not matter because we're adding the 8 and the 3. 8 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 8. So it does not matter which one you label as base 1 or base 2. 8 plus 3. And the height of my trapezoid is
10.
10. So what are we going to do first?
And then
8 plus
So we have 1/2 times 8 plus 3, which is
3. 11.
times 10. What is 11 times 10? 110. And what's half of that?
55.
Thank you. What are my units?
Centimeters squared.
Centimeters squared. Example 3, what shape do we have?
Rectangle.
Formula for the rectangle is what?
Base times height.
Base times height, or length times width. What is my base? 1.5 inches times my height, which is 13 inches. 1.5 times 13 gives us what?
19.5.
Thank you. My units?
Inches.
Any questions so far? All right, on the back. Find the missing measurement for each rectangle. What is the formula for a rectangle? Okay, area equals. In this particular case, we're given lengths and widths. So we have area equals length times width. So I'm given that my area is 48, my width is 6, and my length is unknown. So if I fill in what I know, I can solve for the unknown. So I have my area is 48, and that equals my unknown length times my width, which is 6.
8.
You guys, how'd you do that?
Because 8 times 6 is 48.
8 times 6 is 48. You guys worked on basic algebra last year, correct?
Yes.
All right. How do you get the L by itself?
You divide.
That subtract, you divide both sides by
6.
So the length equals 8, which is what you guys knew, correct?
Yes.
Example 5, area equals 72, length is 12, width is unknown.
Plus you.
Thank you.
First.
Fill in what you know. We know the area is 72. That equals 12 times our unknown width. What are you going to do to both sides of the equation to find the width? Divide both sides by 12. And what is our width? 6 is correct. Example 6, find the missing measurement for each triangle. So how do we find the area of a triangle? Okay, base times half divided by 2, or 1/2 times the base times the height. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fill in what we know to find what we don't know. So for example 6, our area is what?
12.
And that equals 1/2 times, what's my base?
4 times 4.
Simplify the right-hand side. 12 equals what? What's half of 4?
2.
So I have 2 times h. Now what do I do to both sides to solve for the height?
Minus 2.
When you guys were first filling in all of the numbers, what did you think the height was before we actually went through the example?
3.
And that's common because you're still thinking of the area up here, and you're thinking 4 times 3 is going to give me 12. But because we have a triangle, it's going to be a little bit more, okay? So our height is 12 divided by 2, which is what?
6.
Good. Example 7. Our area is 25. That equals 1/2. Our height is 10. And we're looking for the base this time. Simplify the right-hand side. 25 equals what? 5 times
Base.
the base. What are you going to do to both sides?
5 by 5.
Divide by 5. And what is your base equal to? 5. Very good. If at any time I am going through the notes and we're going a little bit too fast for you, speak up. I tend to go with the feedback that I'm getting, so if everybody's giving me feedback, I'm thinking that most people are understanding. Gretchen?
You're good? Yes.
Okay. All right. Example 8, 9, 10, and 11. Find the area of each region by breaking it down into smaller regions. What shapes do we have on example 8?
Rectangle.
We have 2 rectangles.
Oh, you heard that?
I did. All right, the larger rectangle. What dimensions does it have?
6 and 10.
6 and 10. So to find the area of a rectangle, we multiply 6 times 10, which gives us
60.
60. The smaller rectangle, we're missing a measurement. So I'm going to label the short side 2. What's this long length going to be on this other rectangle?
5.5.
Why do you think it's 5.5?
Because it's halfway open.
What's the length here on this rectangle?
6.
And what's the total length?
11. It's going to be 5.
So this is going to be 5 centimeters because this one's 6 and we know that the total length is 11. Don't ever assume that these are drawn to scale because I create them and I don't draw them to scale. Adam, did you have a question?
Oh, you did.
This, it tells you that the total is 11. We know that the side length here is 6. Total is 11. From here to here is 6. So that means from here to here is 5. Yep. So the smaller rectangle, it has dimensions of what?
2, 5, and 11.
2 by, no?
2 by 5.
2 by 5. Which gives us what for an area?
10.
10. So now how do I find the total area between those 2 rectangles? Yes?
You add that
Add those together. So my total area is equal to, what am I going to add together?
10 plus 60.
10 plus 60, which gives us
70 centimeters.
70 centimeters squared. Very good. Example 9. What shapes do I have? Rectangles. Smaller rectangle has dimensions what? 2 by 7, which is 14. Larger rectangle has dimensions what?
4 and 12.
Which gives us an area of 48. Now what do I do? So my total area is equal to, what am I adding? What am I adding?
48 and 14.
48 plus 14, which gives us
52.
units?
Inches squared.
Inches squared. Nice. Example 10. What do we have?
Squares.
We have squares. How do you know they're squares?
These are all equal.
They're all equal. The side lengths are all the same. So what are the dimensions of one square?
4.
Dimensions.
Oh, 2.
2 by 2. When you're asked for dimensions, that's like your length by your width. Okay? So they're 2 by 2. How many squares do I have total? 5. So 2 by 2 gives me what?
4.
And what can I do with the 5?
Times by 4.
Yes.
That's how many squares there are.
There are 5 squares. They each have an area of 4. And that gives me a total area of
20 meters squared.
20 meters squared. What shapes do we have? Triangles. Top triangle. 1/2 times, what is my base?
8.
8. What is my height?
12. No. 6.
No, it's not.
It's 12.
Isn't it? Oh yeah, because it's just. Get it together.
What's 1/2 of 8?
4.
4 times 12 gives us
48.
48. Bottom triangle. 1/2 times. What's my base?
8.
What's my height?
12.
Which gives me an area of. What's my total area?
96.
Add them together and it gives us 96. 48 plus 48 gives us 96 units. Questions? Yes, ma'am.
I don't see how you got 2 on over 8.
Because I forgot to label it for you prior to giving it to you, so I'm just giving it to you now.
Okay.
There was no
Yeah.
easy way for you guys to find that. Any other questions? All right, so it's helpful to keep these in your binder or keep them out and handy so that when you're working on your assignment, you have them to refer back to.